Really, the most important points about the Nikon D850 are not being mentioned by any other place on YouTube. The key point, as I mentioned yesterday, as leaked by Nikon Italy, is that it will have a backside illuminated sensor. Please click on the link below, an image, and you can also do a Google search on BSI sensor technology. Backside illumination. This is Nikon's first backside illuminated sensor. The key important points to take away from the Nikon D850 is it will have better dynamic range than the Nikon D810. It will have better low light performance than the Nikon D500. This is Nikon's first ever backside illuminated sensor. While it does have exactly the same pixel pitch as the Nikon D500, it is a totally different sensor. The Nikon D850 will have focus peaking in live view with the mirror up and the shutter mechanism open. So we have focus peaking. The most important thing additionally is that it will be $3,300. The vertical grip will be $400, and it does take a Nikon D5 battery, an EL18B battery. Now everybody's complaining that the charger for that damn battery is really expensive. Well, the good news is that there are not only cheap versions of that battery, but there are really cheap Chinese knockoff versions of that battery charger. You do not have to buy that really expensive charger. Nikon is not going to stick you with a $330-some charger for that huge battery. So the camera itself will take a conventional battery that you're used to, but the vertical battery grip will require that large battery. So the cost for camera and vertical grip is $3,300 plus $400 plus $150 for the Nikon factory EL18 batteries. So the total in US dollars anyway, what Europe prices will be, I have no idea, is $3,850, not including tax. Key takeaway is absolutely better dynamic range than D810, better low light performance than the Nikon D500, really important. No one else is talking about the fact that this is Nikon's first ever BSI sensor. Click the link below if you want to learn it about what it is. Simply meant is that it has better SNR, signal to noise ratio, because the photoreceptive layer has been moved from the bottom to essentially the top, and all the wiring that exists in the substructure of the sensor has been moved out of the pathway of the light so that the receptive layer is on top and the wiring is on bottom, to keep things simple if you don't want to be too complicated. So all the mess has been moved from the top to the bottom, and therefore it has better light capability reception, so therefore better signal to noise ratio, given an identical exposure with identical aperture and shutter speeds. So the price will be cheaper. The also key important takeaway factor from the Nikon D850 is that if someone were to say, hey, I only want to have one camera, you know, what's the one camera? And nobody ever makes the perfect camera that does it all, but barring any sort of recalls or design defects in this camera, which nobody can predict at this point in time, this would be that one camera. It's like, you know, what do you shoot? Well, I do a little bit of everything. You know, sports, action, wildlife, wedding. Well, this would be the one camera. Importantly, the release date will be in September. When in September, I have no damn idea. But even if it's the last day in September, then we know for a fact that starting from today, we're looking at 36 days, right? 36 days maximum release time for the Nikon D850. 36 days maximum. So $3,300 and 36 days. $400 for the vertical grip. And yes, that vertical battery grip is expensive. It's $150. Yeah. At least the camera's a lot cheaper than it was anticipated. So thank you for watching. Click the link below. And if you want to learn more about BSI sensor tech and why this is incredibly important to the Nikon D810, because you used to talk about Pentium processors. They call it the secret inside your computer. Remember that old commercial from Intel processors? Well, this is the secret inside the Nikon, the BSI sensor tech. And please check that out in a Google search and find out what BSI sensor tech is and why it is so very important to the D850 and why it's not merely just a full-frame version of the Nikon D500. This changes the game. Thank you. Bye.